That's what I'm talking about, boys. We're getting started. Here we are, the Dead Space remake. They're doing another live stream, and you know your boy's in for that. Let's do this. All right. It's honestly like surreal to me that we're getting this remake. I'm so excited. Oh my god. I have such high hopes.
Bonjour à tous. Welcome to the second Dead Space for Dead Space. My name is Philippe Ducharme. I'm joined by Roman Copasoriola, creative director, and Olivier Asselin, our audio director, because today the focus of the stream is on audio.
So funny to me that Roman went from For Honor to Dead Space, but I'm not complaining.
Dead Space were astounding. It helped create an environment that was super immersive for the players, and it was done extremely successfully. Olivier today will explain how we're leveraging the existing content to build an even more immersive experience and enhancing the content that was there in the initial game. Keep in mind that just like last time, everything that you're going to see today is going to be gyms. It's work in progress, so you're going to see bugs, you're going to see missing animation, broken animation, art that's placeholder, and that's all normal.
So nothing is final?
Nothing's final.
Okay.
We're showcasing content as it goes in to make sure that we're receiving feedback and we're able to show you all the game and hear what you think about what we're making. So this is the purpose, and we want to see interactions on boards afterwards, so hopefully we're going to be able to read a lot of comments about audio following the stream. Ali, let's get this started with a first look at the high-level pillars.
Cool, so hello everyone. I'm really thrilled and honored to represent the audio team today and have the opportunity to share with you some of the work in progress. As developer, it's great to be able to share that early with the community. So many thanks to everyone involved in making this happening. Special thanks to the audio team. Okay, we've got a group of talented and very passionate designers. And as you will see with the upcoming examples, they are really committed to make that game an amazing and immersive experience.
They give me a lot of confidence. They really do, honestly.
With us. Quickly, let's have a look at what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at 4 features of
weapons
in Dead Space. We're going to start on the technical side of things. With
I want to hear the plasma cutter.
Or how does the sounds is playing in 3D around Isaac. Then we will have a quick glimpse at Isaac tools, the Dead Space weapon. We're going to look at the Alive system. The Alive system is the non-verbal reaction of Isaac. Isaac breathing, his heartbeat. And then finally, we're going to look at all of this together in-game and ambient mood.
Oh, yeah.
I just gotta.
So sound in space, what do we mean by that? Just
get your headphones, boys.
Obviously, I talked about the environment in 3D. It's also the distance filtering, the obstruction, and the occlusion. So Jean-François, Mike, and Diego put together a video that will explain and showcase our approach to towards environmentalism.
I'm probably going to be very quiet during these sequences, just so you guys know ahead of time.
Hi everyone, this is Jeff Tremblay, lead sound designer and lead audio tech on Dead Space Remake. Today, we will be showing some of the technical improvements we have made for the remake. Later in this video, we will have Mike Dominiak, technical sound designer, and Diego Marayo, senior audio programmer, showing you in-game example, comparing between DS1 and the remake, as well as going over the technical implementation behind the scene. But before going to the details, I would take a bit of time to go over some of the basic audio concepts we will be referring in this video. The occlusion is when a sound is behind a wall. a door, or a large object that completely blocks the direct and reflected indirect signals. In this example, the sound cannot reach the listener, so we say that the sound is completely occluded or blocked. In Dead Space, most walls are thick metal, so if the sounds are outside the room and the door is closed, so any exterior sounds would be silenced. In other cases, we will have glass windows on which we can tell the system to let through a little bit of the sound. So the result would be a muffled, filtered direct signal and a muffled indirect diffuse signal. For the obstruction, the difference is that some of the signal could potentially reach the listener. In this example, the sound is behind an object or wall, but some indirect signal could reach the listener by bending around the corners of the object or by being reflected on the walls. The result will be a muffled direct signal and clear unfiltered indirect signal. The portals. We refer to portals as volumes we place on doors or placed at specific locations in the levels. And at runtime, the occlusion node made by Diego selects the most logical portal to play the sound from. Along with sending the corrected position, it also sends the correct path distance for the sound to reach the listener. The result is a more accurate sound positioning and distance attenuation and filtering. Alright, let's now listen to how these concepts applies in the context of the game.
Let's start with reminding ourselves what the original Dead Space sounded like. Looking at the headbanger corridor, you can hear as soon as the door opens, the sound is coming from the right side of the screen. The sound should realistically be traveling down the corridor to Isaac, but standing here, you can actually hear the sound coming through the wall. As we come around the corner, you will notice minimal audible changes to the sound position and obstruction. In the remake, there will be much more noticeable mix changes when standing here and the sound is not obstructed, to when I move around the corner and the sound is actually blocked.
Are they going to show
Now,
the
let's take a
headbanger
look
in
at
the
our
remake?
in-progress remake.
These graphics. I can't.
You can hear the sound is now coming from the left, at the end of the corridor. The orange boxes you are seeing are portals we placed in the level, and the lines between them are the path the sound is traveling to get to Isaac. We lock the sound to a third of the portal from the direction it is coming from, to keep the correct directionality. We also use this same system for sound passing through to an attached room. As the door closes, we start applying mix changes to the sound. When the door is fully closed, we move the sound source to the window and apply even heavier mix changes.
Thanks you for your little spark. He could not see which way to go if you did not twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. When the blazing sun is caught, when the sun shines, then you
Since this room has no window, we are cutting the sound completely as the door closes.
twinkle.
We have the ability to choose what sounds are let through the doors, so not every sound will be culled if we do not want them to be.
The tension of this game, even with just this sequence, is palpable.
Never
The system also works vertically.
The way the system works is by creating a map of the areas that are reachable by the player considering the surrounding openings like doors and windows. Then, when a new sound starts playing, we can check in the map we have previously generated if the sound is audible and what is the shortest path to Isaac. We update this map at regular intervals but much less often than the sounds themselves, because it's expensive and its data does not change very often. But having this information allows us to calculate a more physically accurate position of the sound very quickly.
This game is gonna be too good, guys.
We really put a lot of effort and a lot of focus on how does the audio playback inside the Ishimura and how we're going to be able to filter that to make sure that it's believable.
One thing that is really important also in terms of gameplay into Dead Space in the experience, it's the physical reality of that world. That the Ishimura feels like an actual place. You have all those physics-based powers, you can cut the necromorph, and all of those things needs to feel real. And one thing we wanted to enhance on audio was to give the same type of approach to the physics of the actual sounds and how they reverberate on in the ship, etc., to really make that place something living in which you can believe.
They're doing a good job. It's crazy. You don't really think about everything that goes in to the audio of a game, and audio is so important to Dead Space. It seems like they're killing it, though.
But let's talk a bit about, we mentioned it at the beginning.
I want to hear the plasma cutter
of Isaac, because in Dead Space, most of the weapons are not necessarily classic weapons. They are more like tools. Because Isaac, as an engineer, is basically using those tools.
I want to hear the rip saw too, though, to be honest. That's going to sound sick.
Our main challenge here is how do we keep the personality of the weapon of the original, but add distinctive detail that will make those weapons, feels like tools, like engineering element. So everything you will see right now, it's based on that train of thought. We've got two prototypes. Once again, it's prototype. We did collaborate with Stefan and Paul from Sweet Justice for this redesign. And both examples, you will first hear Dead Space 1 original and then our remodel prototype. So if everyone is okay with that.
So once again, it's really work in progress for everything, visual, VFX, models, especially animation for the weapon. It's early, there's a lot missing, so just a quick disclaimer.
I know we already...
I'm Michael Dominic, the technical audio artist on Dead Space. I will be showing you the in-progress plasma cutter and pulse rifle today.
Pulse rifle, that's going to be cool.
Let's get started with the plasma cutter and have a listen to what we are remaking.
Classic. One of the best guns in gaming, in my opinion, or best weapons in gaming, I guess you could say. In my opinion, at least.
Now let's have a listen to where we are at with our updated version.
Let's hear it. Sounds good. You can hear like the echo and reverberation like they were saying. That's wild.
When we are designing a weapon, we approach them in many different layers. All of the red and blue boxes outlined in this picture represent another layer that is being played on each shot of the weapon. Now let's take a listen to some of these layers one at a time, so we can really hear each element that's being played.
So much work goes into video games, it's crazy.
That's all we have for the plasma cutter today, but let's take a sneak peek at comparing the original pulse rifle with our in-progress version.
Well, I'm satisfied with the plasma cutter. That junk looks and sounds amazing. I'm very curious about this. I've never really been one to use the pulse rifle, though. That's a huge upgrade if you ask me.
All right, so let's move on actually to the next component, Ollie, for the Alive system.
So we're going to put ourselves in Isaac boots, as I mentioned. Alive system is the breathing of Isaac and his heartbeat, and we're going to look at that with, on a video with our senior sound designer, Terry Calico.
My name is Terry Calico, and I'm the senior VO designer on Dead Space. In the original Dead Space, Isaac's breathing and heartbeat was such an integral part of the player's connection with Isaac in building immersion and emphasizing the horror experience. Breathing is a huge part of Dead Space and horror films in general that enhance the feeling of being alone and vulnerable. For Dead Space, we're looking back at the core functionality of the original and not only bringing that experience forward, but we're finding ways we can improve it to a level that exceeds expectations in today's generation of games. In the original Dead Space, you would hear Isaac's breathing change and heartbeat ramp up over time when sprinting, when low on health, low on oxygen, during combat, and spike for jump scares or scripted events. All of that will be there. A couple of improvements, for example. In the original, when Isaac was sprinting or injured, you would hear additional grunts to emphasize his level of exertion play simultaneously over top of the base breathing rate. Exertions, such as melee and stomp, also played over top of the breathing rather than interrupt it.
Interesting. I never really noticed that, to be honest.
If you listened carefully, you were hearing two voices at the same time. The exerted breaths didn't interject the base breathing. For Dead Space, we're building a system that supports transitioning respiratory rates through fatigued and low health states seamlessly.
Well,
Another example, in the original, when Isaac was gasping for air while running out of oxygen, exiting the vacuum of space or using an oxygen refill would instantaneously and unnaturally revert Isaac back to a calm breathing state as if nothing had happened.
Exiting vacuum.
It's something I never thought about. It's crazy when you think about it. Like,
for Dead Space,
I've played this game like a million times.
Catch his breath as he recovers from a lack of oxygen.
That's insane. It's gonna
Let's
be.
have a listen to this prototyped in game with some placeholder content. And as Isaac catches his breath, you hear it transition back smoothly into the base breathing cycle. For Dead Space, we're building what is called the Alive system. It encompasses all components of Isaac's breathing and heart rate, vocal exertions, and dialogue influenced by a variety of driving gameplay features. The limbic system is the part of the brain that controls behavioral and emotional responses such as anxiety and fear. When you watch a horror movie or play a scary game, the limbic system can trigger a release of adrenaline into the body, causing a physical response such as increased heart rate. In our game, adrenaline is derived from various values driven by external factors that have a direct influence on Isaac's heart rate BPM. External factors that act as adrenaline are the combat difficulty value, scripted events and jump scares, Isaac's fatigue level, Isaac's oxygen level, and Isaac's health. We want Isaac to reflect how anyone would physically react in the scenario he's placed in, and vice versa, use that to influence the player to feel the same response. For Isaac's scripted dialogue lines, where the player maintains full control of Isaac we will have 3 variations of each line to pick
Stop.
based on his current state: a normal version, a fatigued version, and an injured version. Let's have a listen to how Isaac's fatigue level or being in a low health state can impact Isaac's scripted dialogue in game.
Nicole? It's me.
So glad that they have Isaac speaking in this game. I can't get over that.
Nicole? It's me. Nicole? It's me.
Making up Isaac's vitals are his heart rate, respiratory rate, oxygen level, and health. As Isaac is 43 years old, I studied average heart and respiratory rates for his age group at different levels of fitness to land on Isaac's base heart rate of 70 BPM to build up from. As heart rate increases, his respiratory rate increases as well. I broke down the respiratory rates into 7 breathing cycles mapped out across 7 correlating heart rate BPM zones. Each cycle also has fatigued and injured modifiers. Alright, let's have a listen to how Isaac's breathing is behaving in game. One thing to note, the breathing and exertion samples that you'll be hearing in game are not gunner right. These are placeholder samples that we recorded for testing all of this functionality out in game as we were building it. And here on screen is our Alive monitor. This is some debug information that we've put together to see Isaac's current breathing cycle, his heart rate, what his breathing state is, if he's inhaling or exhaling, what his fatigue level is, his oxygen level, his health, and the current combat intensity. And if we have Isaac's sprint here, over time you'll start to see his fatigue level increase. And when Isaac's fatigue level gets past a certain threshold, you'll start to hear fatigued breaths, exerted breaths start to mix in with his regular base breathing rate.
It's crazy. I feel like this game's gonna be so immersive.
And when Isaac stops sprinting, you'll see his fatigue level start to go down, his heart rate will come down, and his respiratory rate will slow down as well. And wrapping up the Alive system, we have exertions. These are single one-off exertion events that interrupt or interject between base breathing loops. For example, melee, stomp, hit reactions, and death. Exertions for the most part will end in exhales and restart the breathing loop back up on an inhale. However, the breathing system will have the flexibility to have the option to start
Melee,
the breathing
stomps,
loop
and
back
death.
up on an exhale or inhale, depending on the content. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this sneak peek into some of the things we're doing with audio to make Isaac come alive.
No, thank you.
Man, that is wild. The amount of work and thought to go into. You're developing a hypothalamus for a video game character. That's incredible. And I gotta say, Isaac should probably maybe start the Couch to 5K program. He needs to work on that stamina build up, I think, right there.
We're going to quickly talk about one of the elements that is super important, obviously, for the entire Dead Space experience. It's the music. Okay, it provides a very amazing effect in Dead Space 1. The score from Jason Graves is amazing, and it was well praised by both critic and fan. It used dark, organic, orchestral music that dynamically change at runtime based on gameplay parameters. Super effective at setting up the mood of being responsive to specific game stimuli. So for us, I bring back the pillars that we talked about from the beginning to demonstrate that they are applied all over the place for us. What does it mean to be true to the original? It means that we're gonna reuse both the way the music was playing, but also the original score. But once again, as for all the other feature, we're looking for elements that we would like to add as a bonus, as an enhanced experience. So for that, we would like the music of Dead Space to evolve with the narrative, to change, to support the story. And for that, we're working with our composer, Trevor Gurikis. And fun fact, we just out of a recording 2 weeks ago. We did a cool recording, and we've got a little glimpse for you coming up.
Oh my god, I already am filled with dread.
The string section, but we've got also like we can record the brass, the perks separately, and after that it's the same way as the weapon basically. We record in layers, so we can play back in layers. In certain places you will hear only certain element, and after that dynamically when the players are playing, we put all those things together and make them fluctuated with the gameplay.
That's so awesome. Okay, well, speaking of putting everything together, I think now everyone wants to see maybe some like gameplay, like all of this kind of squished together in a live demo, perhaps. Is that something we can do?
Guess that's where we are now.
Oh my
Definitely
god,
we're
you're
gonna
kidding
switch,
me,
and
right?
Again, the same old disclaimers, right? Everything's final, Jack. That's it.
100% final, polish, ready to go,
Not at
ready
all.
to ship.
Everything that we're
Send
showing
it out.
again today, it's first pass in terms of visuals, animation,
looks great.
writing, etc. There's still a long way to go before polishing and finishing the game experience. But still, we wanted to give you a glimpse at where we are today and how do all those elements we talk about today actually converge together to participate to enhance the Dead Space experience.
Well, I'm very much appreciative of that. Oh my god. All right. Watch the left, homie. There's a vent over there, if I remember correctly. It's gonna be too good. I'm sorry. Oh! This looks finished to me. No, I want more.
That's like, how many layers of audio can be playing at one time?
Oh, there's a lot of layer that could play at runtime, and this is the magic of dynamic mixing right there. It's like we establish, as developer, we establish rule in which, like, hey, when those conditions apply, then certain things will change dynamically at runtime. So in the end, it's the player that will provide the end result. So we're trying to just applying certain rules that say, like, hey, when those conditions arrive, then this will lower 3 dB, the music will rise a certain amount, so it depends really of the gameplay. There's a lot of layers, so we don't have the choice. As I explained earlier, it's like the frequency range is that wide, and when lots of frequency just add on, at one point it's too much, so we need to choose where you put your focus, basically.
It depends on what's on screen, how close to the player they are, all those kind of things. But kudos to everybody on the team, Montreal and everywhere in the world for their hard work. Yeah. Still a long way to go, but...
Definitely, we need to do a huge shout out to the team. We have a lot of people that are extremely passionate in the work, and it shows when we're starting to put all the pieces together. We only saw a glimpse of that work today, but there's a lot more coming, and it's actually something that I wanted to say today, that we're going to do another dev stream in just a couple of weeks / months, early May. We're going to do a follow-up to this dev stream. With an art live stream. Yeah, I see your hand, Jack. I'll get to you. But just like we're going to do an art live stream in just a couple of weeks, early May, where we're going to have Mike Yazijan, our art director, that's going to be with us, having a first look at art. Well, I think Ollie's just set the bar pretty high, so great work, Ollie. And now I'll get to your question, Jack.
Hi, I'm Jack down here in Austin. I know you guys are up there. You said like we're getting close. Can you give us a general range, maybe, or as close as you can get to like when we can get our hands on? I know this is the gold final version of the game we've been watching now, but like maybe the final version of the game when you're ready to put it on shelves. When can we see Dead Space in our house?
The final version of it. Well, we want to make sure that we're in a place where the game that we're going to deliver is going to be delivering on the expectations of fans, and that's what's most important. So right now, we'll say early next year. We have a date in mind. We want to make sure that everything converges for this. We're actually just a couple of weeks away from being able to do our first full walkthrough of the game.
We're not even alpha yet.
Exactly, we're still pre-alpha, but we believe that we're going to be in a solid position to be able to do the proper polish, the proper debug, and to meet the date that we have in mind. But for now, I'll say early next year, Jack, to your question.
That's sooner than I expected, honestly.
All right. That's better than some nebulous in the future, so I appreciate that.
All right. So, well, thank you, Jack. Thank you, Ollie. Thank you, Roman, for participating in DevStream.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. I hope that you've enjoyed what you saw today and everything that we've showcased. Please participate in comments. We want to see your thoughts. We want to see what we did right, what we did wrong, hopefully not too much, and hear what you think about the game. And so thanks a lot, everyone, and hope you have a great, fantastic day.
Same to you guys. I didn't see anything wrong. I'm just going to say it here and now. Like, I didn't see anything wrong. My expectations for this game are probably, like, unhealthily high. Like, I have such high expectations, but it seems like they're just delivering on everything. I'm overjoyed. I don't know what to say, honestly. Just everything looks amazing. I'm gonna be there for the next dev stream. You better believe that. And the fact that we have Gunnar Wright voicing Isaac in this game, there were so many times. I know I already talked about it. There were so many times where Isaac was just like silent. You know, when I'm not gonna spoil anything, but when Nicole was talking to him and whatnot, and when people were directly talking to him, he was just silent. But now we're gonna have the voice actor for Isaac Clarke voicing the first game, and it looks this amazing. And that freaking demo they did at the end looked finished. I'd play that and be happy. Oh man, it's just too good. I'm not gonna rant too much longer. Keep up the good work to the folks over there at Motive working on the game, because I have utmost confidence in them at this point, honestly. I'm so appreciative. I know I'm not the only one, but I'm so appreciative that they're showing these early looks, because even though it's such early development, pre-alpha as they say, it looks amazing, and every step they're taking is a good one in my opinion, from what I've seen. Nothing but praise from me, personally. Nothing but praise. So hopefully you guys are as excited as I am, because as I said, my excitement level is just too high. But that'll do it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next dev stream in May. They said early May, so I'm stoked for that.